Lancheres here from On-Page.ai. I love this test because I'm actually doing one of these tests myself, pitting different writers against each other. I think putting your money where your mouth is amazing. Also, going through the effort of testing all this and putting the data. There's a lot of work that goes into testing. I know it, and I have because I've been doing it for the past decade. Also, I commend you of really putting all this out. This is great. Now, I'm making this video because there are a few things I want to point out that I think can be taken to the next level or maybe adjusted, or that I view things in a slightly different manner, right? So whenever I'm looking at SEO tests, I'm looking at different things, different values. I think that's this video might be worthwhile just to make everyone's life better. So at the end of the day, my objective, my goal is for everyone to rank and be as profitable as possible on Google. So even if you're, I'm sure you're doing SEO yourself. I do SEO myself. And the objective is always to just make more profit, get a better ROI, right? So with all that being said, my first, not gripe, but just thing that I feel we do differently is the scoring. So the scoring, I love that we have tons of scores right here, right? So tons of score, and I was like, oh, well, how was this scoring? Where does the scoring come from? Like, because obviously I want to get the tool with the highest score. The higher score means better profits, better rankings, and so forth, right? Well, this is where we like probably seriously differ, because the scoring was done with the surfer scoring. But the surfer scoring, I'm sorry, but I disagree, and I think it's flat out wrong, and I think it's actually, in my testing, will not lead to better rankings, which is why we actually developed an entirely different scoring mechanism based on real search engine algorithms. So let me just kind of explain in kind of like as quickly as possible, because I don't want to bore anyone, but I want people to rank better. So I actually did a presentation, by the way, specifically a full presentation right here. It's a 1-hour presentation on the scoring mechanism, and it's free for anyone that wants to learn about Google's algorithm and how it works and how scoring with relevance can work. So there's a whole like 1-hour thing, but obviously I'm not going to go and dive into this, but anyone that wants to learn further can. So essentially the way the surfer scoring works, as far as I could tell, or as far as I know, is that they will look for the specific words on the page. And if you have those words that they determine in your H1s, in your H2s, in your titles, and so forth, they will just give you more points. Now, the Google algorithm is far more nuanced than that. And that's why we developed an algorithm that measures overall page relevance rather than, hey, did you use this term in your H2? Because as far as I know, the surfer algorithm, the way it's going to measure, it's going to say, okay, you want to use this specific word in an H2 subheadline. You want to use this specific word in your title. And if you don't do that, and you don't follow their specific surfer format, you're actually going to lose points in the scoring. So for here, and also one of the things is a surfer often leads to over optimization in terms of the suggestions, or it wants you to go down a cookie cutter path of SEO. However, in practice, that's not what leads to the best rankings. The highest relevance usually leads to the best rankings, and that's measured differently, which is what I spent a long time building out and getting a different types of score, the different types of scoring mechanism that measures overall relevance based on Google entities, rather than, hey, are you using this word in the H2 or this word in the H3? Because that's not exactly how Google works. Now, on a side note, whenever the Yandex leaks happened, the Yandex algorithm leaks, this is when we saw how a modern search engine works. And we just confirmed that this is how we worked. For instance, in the Yandex algorithm, they're talking about BM25. It's kind of like a way of calculating relevance. And this is something that we basically use. And we actually developed it before we saw the leaks, but this is essentially how to use. So let me actually dive into just a bit more the scoring mechanism. So essentially, let's take something with like a low score. So let me remove, and this page already has a lot, like a high score. Let me go stone fireplace, how to clean a stone fireplace. Okay, cool. This is a perfect example. So here we have a scoring of 73. And depending on how many times you add a certain word, you will get a higher score go with diminishing returns. So let me dive into my example that I typically give. If you write The number one term is fireplace. We're already using it. So if you write fireplace again, you actually see, hopefully you saw this didn't change because we are already using the term fireplace inside the content. So it knows it's not giving us more points. It's going to give us slightly more points. And as we add it again, then it should go up. So I'm going to use fireplace. I'm use fireplace again and then fireplace again. There we go. Now, after using it 3 times, it went up. But what if I put it in a lot? So I'm going to start putting in fireplace a lot and it's going to keep on going up, but it's going up and it's eventually going to kind of plateau and start going down slightly less at a lower rate because the first time you use a word. So for instance, actually, let me remove all the fireplaces here. Now, if I use the word debris, debris hasn't been used at all. So we should get more benefit from using the word debris. So if I use the word debris and I use debris again, and then again, there you go. We're at 75. Actually, I only used it twice and we're at 75. And the word fireplace was used, I don't know, I could compare. We used it 3 times and we only went up by 1. So hopefully you can see how the algorithm that we developed or the relevance score that we developed is a better reflection of how Google actually measures relevance and how Google actually ranks pages. It's based on the overall page relevance, and it also accounts for the frequency that you use your term. And it doesn't specifically look at, hey, did you use this term in the H2s? And if you didn't, we're gonna ding points off of you. The other thing it also doesn't make sure you don't do is we also looks for over optimization. So if you use a word too much, you're actually going to lose. You're actually going to be slightly less relevance because it's going to increase the amount of fluff. So let me explain and show you that. If you are not, let's say you're writing about stuff that is not relevant to the topic. So here we're at 75, and I'm going to add content that's not relevant to the topic. You can see hopefully it's going down 73, 72, 71, 70, and so forth. And as we add content that is not relevant, it actually lowers the overall page relevance. And this is a better reflection of how Google measures things and how Google ranks documents. Anyways, all that to say is that the initial scoring mechanism that it has been used for all the testing is just not accurate and it's just not good, and it's not something I would trust. In fact, we don't trust it so much. Actually, I've done case studies where we followed it to a T and we didn't rank very well. Then we changed a few things and we were able to improve our rankings. This is the entire basis, and there's a reason why I started On-Page, and actually the reason why we developed this new scoring algorithm, which better reflects how Google ranks and measures things, so you could get the best score and you could rank as well as possible. So hopefully, the long-winded way of saying just the methodology of testing things is not I don't agree with it from the get-go. However, I do like testing and I do think that we should measure. And what I'm not saying, even though I think that this relevant scoring mechanism is better, I'm still not saying we should use our relevant scoring mechanism. I don't think you should use the On-Page.ai scoring mechanism, even though I do think it is the best. I am biased. It wouldn't be fair to us because ultimately our articles would score well because they're designed to not follow. Our articles are actually designed to not rank well on Surfer and to rank very well on ours and very well on Google, because we found that if we follow the Surfer thing, we don't rank as well on Google. So that's me just putting it out there. I'm actually still surprised that we did fairly well in spite of that, or I guess. But ultimately, I don't think we should use any of these scoring mechanisms. I think when we're testing things for Google rankings, we should be measuring Google rankings. And we should also be measuring overall page experience and user interaction with the content. So I know this gets much more in depth. However, ultimately, what we care about as marketers is getting rankings. Ultimately, what we care about is having rankings, but not only good rankings, but also sales. We want people clicking and reading our content. And we know that AI content or just any content in general will drop off if people land on the content, land on your page, and then they bounce off and then they don't stick to read. We know that eventually Google will take action on an entire site, and that's when you start losing and getting de-indexed and getting a whole bunch of issues, hence Panda. So that's why having a good user experience on the page is critical. So it goes way beyond just some scoring. I wouldn't even care or look too much at the score. I would say, hey, how does this rank? How does this rank in comparison with the other articles? And then how are users engaging into this content? Are users reading this content, engaging with it for a long period of time? Is it keeping me safe, or is it going to harm me and is going to drop off the face of the earth, right? So that's kind of my criteria is if I want to make money with SEO, I want to be publishing the best quality content I can. So there's a few ways that we make sure we get the best quality content, but most of the energy and effort has gone in to creating the most engaging and highest ranking content possible, rather than looking at some just score. So that's part one. One of the other things that we made sure we were adamant about is we developed technology to pass our AI detection. So we use the same AI detection as Google outlined in their research paper, and we make sure that every article is going to be passes our AI detection. Now, this is not going to be the end all. However, it does keep us safer, in my opinion, in the long term. So let's go back to the articles and essentially the testing methodology. What I personally look at is going to be how well does the article rank. So here, unfortunately, well, I mean, if I were doing a test, and of course we are actually in the process, we would be looking at how well do these pages rank in relation to each other, right? So which one ranks the best, which ones doesn't rank the best, and then we would get users to go. We would want to rank terms that people are searching, which is much more complicated. I understand, but we would want to see how well do people engage and consume the content. Does this make a good site, or is it just essentially spam that you could put up and it'll be gone the next day, or if people land on it, they're not even going to buy. So that's kind of my main criteria when I'm looking at the content for any of the writers. So let me kind of dive in, and I'm actually going to show you what I'm talking about when we're measuring our content. So this is a website, it's a test website. We haven't been doing much with it, or haven't done much. But for instance, when I'm looking at the pages, this website has a mix of real content written by real writers, and it has a mix of AI content. Now, the AI content, funny enough, is actually the top performer. So this article right here, Tinder account under review, is the #1 article on the site right now. And it has a time on page of almost 8 minutes, right? So this article written by AI is outperforming our human written content, which would be this. This is a human written article. And first of all, it's ranking out of the box. There are no modifications made to this. And it's ranking really well, and it has a high engagement on page. So this tells me that this is helping the website instead of detracting from it. Another one, which is completely AI written, is going to be how to respond to hey on Tinder. This also has an incredible 9 minutes, which I don't even understand. I don't understand how or what, but this is the on-page time that we have for this article, which once again is outperforming many of the other real human or freelance writing or articles that have been written. So I could open it up. I mean, if you're curious, you could go see. But the way we put this is literally copy pasted from the writer, and this is actually copy pasted from an old version of our writer, and we added images. That's it. Like literally copy pasted, added images, and the newest version would be even better than this content. So this is how. And also here, I'll show you another test that we're doing. So let me go Google. Was it first date ideas in was it New York in 2023? I think this is the keyword. Yeah, okay. So this is the keyword. And this is another test that we did, first date ideas in New York 2023. You're gonna see that we posted this 6 days ago. There are no links to this. There is a copy, it's literally copy pasted. There are no links, there's nothing, and it is ranking #1, and it has a search for featured search snippet. This is the type of testing that we're doing, and we're trying to compare this versus all the others. And we want to, obviously, we're designed, and our objective is to always be on top and to really provide better content for your website. So hold on, let me try. Second date ideas in Montreal in 2023. Okay, here's another one. And once again, this is us again with #1 result with the first featured search snippet. And you can see it's posted 6 days ago. And this is with 0 links pointing to the page and 0 modifications. So if I literally, let me just open this page up. This is copy pasted. Actually, it's imported. So you'll recognize this. This is imported directly from the Stealth writer, or the Stealth AI writer. And everything here that you see Nothing has been modified. Like this is out of the box. So that's what we are really aiming for to get into when we're measuring things. Now, diving into specifics in terms of measuring things, I think here a lot of these things are going to be standalone AI writers, and we're actually a full on-page tool. So we have a whole bunch of other things that we offer rather than just on-page. Now we do have on-page like stealth writer plans. We have plans that specifically focus in more on AI writing, and when you get those plans, the cost per article will usually be between $5 and $3.50, like per article, between $3.50 and $5. And the reason and where that money goes, it doesn't go directly into our pocket. Or the reason we are paying so much, like the articles are between $3.50 and $5 usually, is because of one of the main things is going to be our stealth technology, where we will produce a lot more content to make sure that we can provide content that passes AI detection. We run it through multiple passes of revisions. And we also have a lot of things that we do in the background, such as dynamic research, where we're going to go out and research the content for you. And there's a lot of fine tuning and tweaking. Essentially, it's not uncommon that we produce 100,000 words of content, and then when we present you with the final article, it is the perfection, like the handcrafted thing, so it ranks as best as possible. And it's kind of like it passes our AI detection guaranteed. And it's just kind of like the culmination of everything, just so we could create the best possible article. So when we are creating articles, we're really aiming on, hey, did we create the absolute best article possible, or and that's our bar. So we're not really too concerned with with all the extras. We're really focused in on the best quality article. So I could do here, and I'll do our AI detection check, and of course you could do 100 at a time and so forth. We also have a lot of, if I kind of just look at this article, we have our formatting, and it's made to be engaging and really gathered towards a search intent. Now let's kind of going back into the pricing. This plan, the plan that you kind of featured, is not really an AI plan. The plan that you featured is a plan for essentially all of On-Page that focuses on essentially our search tool. So this is what people use, and agencies use this day in, day out. And they have essentially, this will tell you how to rank. It'll give you a roadmap. This uses Google's own AI against itself. So we use Google's own AI to measure look up entities and provide you with suggestions. We also have developed our own AI version to be able to give you additional related entities to your content. So this could help you go above and beyond. We do categorization using Google's categories. So we actually use Google's AI to identify categories. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that kind of goes in. And this, when you're getting the base plan, or like the plan that we have, this is what you're getting. And then we're just throwing in AI writing kind of as a bonus. So that's why I don't think it's fair to, you could interpret it any way you want, but usually if people get the base plan, you're not really paying for the AI articles, you're paying for the on-page suite, so you could optimize and rank your content better. And this is what we essentially developed in order to basically help people rank their content better. Now, of course, we also provide brief and outlines, which is going to be kind of like if you've used any tools to be, send stuff to your writers and have like an outline of content. Let me just do an outline here. It'll look up all the H1s, H2s. You build an outline, you send it to your writers. We have tons of tools such as link relevancy for analyzing the relevance of your backlinks in order to determine and help with Google penalties. We also have the Stealth AI Writer, Stealth Rewriter. This actually is been named the world's best AI spinner, or so you could actually put in a content here. It'll make it undetectable, and also it'll make it unique. So you can take one article and make 10 out of them. We have predictive link building, which is advanced stuff if you want to build the best possible links. And we have AI detection. If you want to do mass AI detection, that's in here too. And even inside here, you could actually check for AI detection. You can see, hey, how well does this fare? Now, when you're adding all these things up, if you even start comparing all the features that we have, agencies are saving like thousands of dollars using On-Page.ai. And we haven't even talked about the stealth AI writer. Like this is excluding that. When we're looking at the pricing here, this is like not even think about the AI writer. People are getting a lot of benefit just out of this, right? The AI writing is kind of like just a bonus at this point, because, for instance, I don't know, we offer, let's say we have 600 scans here, and I can even look at just direct pricing. Let me kind of go on page 2. If I look at the direct pricing here, we offer in just sorry, someone's passing by, 300 scans using Google's own AI. Now, if we look at the competition, I'm sure their prices are changing all the time, but they charge more for, or they'll charge the same for about 100 scans a month, and we give 300 scans, you get 600 scans, a brief and outline, all these things, just AI detection. So AI detection, if you were to look at, I think originalities right now is the most popular one. They charge 1 credit per 100 words. So if you're scanning 2,000 word documents, we could, yeah, I think that would be like $100 or $200 of the equivalent of originality credits. Just that we just give it to you. We just give it to you. Anyways, when you add the value up and you compare what you would need to replace just the base plan, it ends up being absolutely crazy where you're getting a lot more. Now we could dive into the actual AI writing. The AI writing that we have is once again designed to pass the AI detection. And when you take the plans, like the AI plans, I'm kind of start at the AI plans, which are more, yes, but they do contain all of the on-page suite. Then it ends up being like, let's say $5 per article. We have agencies that are doing $4 per article or $3.50. And the reason people are using this is because, first of all, it ranks well. It passes AI detection and is designed to improve the overall website. So if you want high performing articles, if you want the best, in my opinion, personal opinion, if you want the best articles, the best content, this is where you're going. So yes, we're never going to be the 20-cent articles. It's just, you can't have the best articles in the world. Just doing the research costs more than that to provide the content, right? So when you look at this plan, you're actually getting a ton more for your money. And this is where I believe the comparison is more apt, right? So I don't think it's fair to look at the lowest plan. In fact, it's not even the right price. Here's when 240, and we're actually, what was it? Like, it's like 229, right? So it's actually the wrong plan, wrong price that's written. But in spite of that, I'm not kind of harping on that, whether it's like $10 or $30 more. It's just that the actual AI plans, even this one, gives you up to 50 articles or up to 100 stealth articles. This is going to be more the plans that you want. Now, there's tons of other things that I didn't even mention. Like, for instance, if I just send this to editor right here, I can just associate it with a plan. Let me go here. Okay, cool. So we're already 100%. But if you want to take it further, we have things like auto optimize. Like here, max mode. Actually, let me take an article that hasn't been optimized, just so you get to see. We have features that people have been asking, and no one else in the world is doing this, as far as I could tell, or as far as I know. Like, for instance, auto optimize. So these are the words that you want to add. I could literally click auto optimize here, and I could click on the words, the entities. These are going to be entities as recognized by Google themselves. And I could say, hey, we want to add these intelligently into the content, right? So I selected 20 words, click start optimizing. I could even put custom words here. Let me put a custom word or two. Let me put Eric Lancheres. There we go. Let's add this as a custom word. Now, it's going to go and it's going to intelligently look at your content, understand it. It's going to determine the context, and then it's going to insert the terms wherever it can inside your content so it remains natural. And then it just helps you rank even more, right? So it takes about 45 seconds, up to 45 seconds to a minute. And then it's going to give us better content at the end, right? So without clicking, without anything. So you're getting, when I'm looking at the on-page, what you're getting so much more rather than just a simple writer, for starters. So that's why I think the comparison is very difficult in that sense. And also the content itself is, in my opinion, going to be on a different level, because once again, I think we're the only ones, or one of the only ones, that guarantees that it passes through our AI detection. And that is going to be something that obviously is costly, right? So here, you can see I just added the words in auto optimize, and now it's all green. I could even click on this. It'll highlight the terms. It even used my name, Eric Lancheres, a well-known home improvement expert, right? That's hilarious, right? That's amazing. And this was all done, debris, limestone, sponge, and all that, with a click of a button. So if you're here and you're like, oh, I want to optimize my content, you could do it. Now, this goes way above and beyond what the other people are offering. So I believe that when we account for these things, or when we look at it from a different perspective, we look at it from the ranking perspective, from the SEO agency perspective, how is this going to improve my website? Am I going to be able to get a positive ROI out of this software? Am I going to make money from this software? Is this going to give me help me grow my website quickly? I think then the answers change dramatically. Also, like, hey, I wrote an article. How well is it going to perform? And is it going to last long? Is the article going to last 3 months and then, users are not going to like it or not buy, or Google's going to penalize me? Or is it going to be a long-term article because people are really engaging with it and they really like, the content you're putting out? So I think that a lot of these things, these are things that I would be looking at and I'd be considering when I'm evaluating things. And even when you're looking at straight up pricing, not not even looking at this, I think that the return on investment is going to be quite substantial, and it paints a completely different picture. So anyways, this is kind of like my, I just want to make this video. I really enjoyed the test. Love putting your money where your mouth is. And I think testing like this is good. I just wanted to paint my perspective on what I really look at whenever working on content and why we are different. So hope you enjoyed this. Once again, feel free to contact me. My name is Eric Lancheres, On-Page.ai, on-page.ai. That if you have any questions, you could always email me. Actually, I'll put an email, or with this, I'll give you my direct contact, but you can always reach me here or anywhere on social media. And I will be happy to talk to you. All right, take care. Ciao.